Alright gamers, welcome back. World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore Ironman Adventures episode 151. Today, we're actually starting a new adventure. We finished the Rogue. It's been, I think, a couple months at this point since I've played Hardcore WoW. I thought I was, good with it. Usually what I'll do is I'll finish a character, take a little break, and then that itch will come back eventually. And I'm like, you know what? Kind of want to play some WoW. So it's been a couple months. We took some time off. I've played some other games. The itch has come back. There's a lot of hype in WoW Hardcore right now. People are doing race lock runs in the community. Basically, giant guilds of dwarves only, and Tauren only, and orcs and gnomes are banding together and using the race and class combos that those races and classes can play, building guilds with it, and then only playing with those people in their guilds. It's pretty cool. As well as there was some news that Turtle WoW might be shutting down. I'm hearing a lot of people saying it's actually fake. Hopefully it is, fingers crossed, because Turtle WoW is really cool. But all of this buzz around WoW has got me itching to play again. So last time we finished our rogue character, we'd done all the quests, 99.9% of the quests that we could do, that we could safely solo. We didn't do any dungeons really on this character. I think we actually did 0 dungeons, which was pretty cool. And it's probably a trend that I will continue in the future. I like to just do it completely solo. But this time, I think we're actually going to be moving to the Alliance side of things. Last time we played the Undead Rogue, had a really good time. That's usually my main character in WoW, as I usually play an Undead Rogue. So this time, we're getting off Skull Rock, and we are heading to Defias Pillager. And we are going to be playing... Now, the Night Elf Rogue is going to be the last character that I play in the Hardcore series. I want to do every character once and then circle back to Rogue at the top of the list and play like Subtlety or Assassination on the Alliance side. But for now, I think we're going to be playing Paladin. I wound up... originally, this was a female human Paladin, but circumstances has changed, and on actual era servers, non-hardcore era servers, my Paladin is a human female, so I wanted my hardcore characters to be different than my era characters. So on era, I've got like a human rogue, and that's why on hardcore it's a night elf rogue, right? Is because like on era, where I actually would like play the dungeons and raid and things like that, like racials matter more. There's just, on era, that stuff matters more. In hardcore, this is the place where I get to change it up and be a dwarf paladin, be a night elf rogue, right? Be a dwarf priest. Even though I think on era, my priest is on horde side and I play shadow priest on it. But for now, we're gonna play our gnome paladin. So I've already got him made. I haven't logged in and tested if my add-ons are working. I did update everything, but I might have to pause real quick and make sure all our add-ons are working. But let's listen to our cutscene here, see what the game has to say. I always love the intro cutscenes. Get you ready and excited for the race in the class that you're about to play.
The stoic dwarves of Ironforge spent countless generations mining treasures from deep within the earth. Hidden within their impregnable stronghold of Ironforge Mountain, they rarely ventured beyond the wintry peaks of Dulmora. Recently, however, the dwarves unearthed a series of ruins that held secrets to their ancient heritage. Driven to discover the truth about his people's fabled origins, the great king Magni Bronzebeard ordered that the dwarves shift their industry from mining to archaeology. As part of the Grand Alliance, the stalwart dwarven armies have been called away to battle the merciless horde in faraway lands. In these perilous times, the defense of the Mountain Kingdom falls to brave dwarves like you. The spirits of the ancient kings watch over you, and the very mountains are your strength. The future of your people is in your hands.
All right, we are in, and yeah, the add-ons look like they're working, but they're definitely going to take a little bit of adjusting, and I'm going to have to, well, turn off a few of them. So real quick, let me pause the video here. I'll get everything set up, and then when it is good, I'll resume, and we'll get started. So I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, gamers, we are back. Took me a little bit of time to get all the add-ons and everything that I like set up. I got to, change our hotkeys, turn off certain add-ons that were more specifically for my rogue or some of my other characters, like mage portals and like priest shield up times and all that kind of stuff. And then, just iron out the details for everything. But for the most part, I think we have everything just how I like it. We have Pally Power, of course, over here on the side. This will probably get moved throughout the playthrough, but everything else should be just about, for the most part, good. So I need to figure out what button do I want to have Holy Light on. Probably Shift 1, I like that. All right, let's start taking some of these quests. We'll start with Sten Stoutarm.
Ah, well, aren't you a sturdy-looking one? Perhaps you can assist me with a thing or two. Not much help around here except for green apprentices, and they've other things to worry about. What do we have here? You look as though you might need something to keep your hands warm, HM. I'll tell you what would help. A pair of nice warm gloves. And, being the kind soul that I am, I'd be more than happy to provide you with a suitable pair. I've one condition, however. I need you to go get me some wolf meat. Nice arrangement, HM. You bring me some
nice
wolf
arrangement,
meat, and
HM.
I'll make sure you don't lose any digits to frostbite. Well, what do you say?
Sounds good to me. One thing that I do want to do real quick is turn off speedy quests, I believe. Instant quest accept. Requires a quick reload, but I want to keep the quest text up for us to read, and I think I might have to move that window, which I do have move anything on, but let me see real quick. Let me abandon this.
What can I do for you?
I think I had this like right around here. Ah, well, aren't you a sturdy-looking one? Perhaps you can assist me with a thing or two. Not much help around here except for green apprentices, and they've other things to worry about.
What do we have here? You look as though you might need something to keep your hands warm, HM. I'll tell you what would help. A pair of nice warm gloves. And, being the kind soul that I am, I'd be more than happy to provide you with a suitable pair.
We've heard that. I just wanted to make sure I had the quest accepting windows correct, but alright. Just need to kill a couple wolves. Now, it's been a while since I played WoW. I need to get back into the swing of things. Shouldn't be too hard to get back into the swing of things. I mean, this is probably the game I'm the most comfortable with in my entire life history, but it's been a while since I played hardcore, so it's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to remember that. Don't rush things, In these early levels, I can play, a little spastic, but we aren't on the rogue anymore, so I don't have as many like get out of jail free cards. I won't have evasion. I won't have vanish. Vanish is a big get out of jail free card, but I do have on the Paladin. I have healing. I have bubbles. I have 10th jump already, baby. One thing with this character that we won't be doing is going engineering. I have a list, a notepad that I've built in the past, and I'm just, carrying it over, but we talked about it before on the road. I want to change up the professions with every character that we make, and some characters we will go engineering again because there's only a finite amount of professions, and it will fit the theme and the idea that I want to make that character, right? But for this character specifically, I think we're going to be doing mining blacksmithing. I like the idea of making my own weapons and my own armor as we progress along with this character. They can use plate and a majority of the weapon types. They're basically a holy warrior, right? So it's pretty fitting for this character to be a mining blacksmith. as well as level 2. There we go, first level. I think I'm going to make him a like protection holy hybrid, which means we will be leveling a little slower, but we will be safer. We will have more utility under our belt. We will have more defense and some AoE capabilities. But I like the idea of leveling like protection holy hybrid. Most of the time when people play Paladin, they play Retribution when they're leveling, because it is the fastest way to level. But after playing the Rogue as combat, and then on Era, I experienced playing Rogue and leveling like Assassination Subtlety, and just the difference that felt, and seeing like, okay, combat's definitely the best, but you can definitely play as a Subtlety or an Assassination Rogue, and it's fun. It's fun to have that difference, even if it is like a little slower or whatever. It made me think like, okay, I want to try different builds with some characters in the future. Like when we play the Priest, I'll probably play like Shadow Discipline hybrid, or maybe I'll do like some kind of like Holy Discipline, Holy Fire build or something like that. And for the Druid, I'll probably play like a balance, resto, kind of jumping in and out of all of my forms hybrid kind of build, even though that kitty is the best way to level, right? Like, but we did get a couple upgrades here. We got a a new chest piece, some boots, or sorry, some pants, some gloves. We didn't get boots yet, but all right, Sten.
How are ya? See you soon.
Always giving you a bit of trouble. You do well to avoid the fangs and claws and other sharp bits, yeah?
Ah, wonderful. The wolf meat should do nicely. Oh, don't worry, adventurer. I wouldn't forget my part of the bargain. Here, one of these should fit you.
Thanks, buddy. Consecrated rune. Let's go with the delivery first.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to do a favor for me, lad. A stack of letters came through the pass today, but I don't have the time to send them along. They're all addressed to Talon Kenai. You can find him to the west down the road. He's set up camp next to the frozen lake. What do you say? Do you?
What do you say? Do you?
Off with you.
We say, yeah, we'll take it to him.
While you were helping me out, this rune was given to me to pass on to you. Take some time to read it when you have a chance. I'm thinking it came from the Paladin trainer Bromos. Take a gander at it and go find him inside Anvilmar when you've a chance.
Bromos. Consecrated rune. Let me make sure this is at the right place for our recording. Some fear our kind more than dragons. Some envy us more than the most skilled blacksmiths. Some praise our strength in battle. Others revel in our faith. Some are just jealous that we can drink them under the table. But know this, Paladin. You are among the most elite protectors in all of Azeroth. The Holy Light gives us strength as much as we strengthen it. I would tell you more when you've gotten acquainted with some of the land. Find me inside Anvilmar above the valley. Bromos Grumner, Paladin trainer. Alright, we got some new gloves. Let's go ahead and dump the other stuff because I think it's all just garbage. Balear Frosthammer.
I hope you're here to lend us a hand, adventurer. After the last Trog attack, we could use all the help we can get. I hear the buggers have been popping up all across the lands, and it seems Coldridge Valley is no exception. They've been spotted all over the hills to the southeast and near the frozen lake. And that's not all. Just a few nights ago, they attacked and overran our camp to the west. We're a bit short-handed here, lad, and we need strong arms to help drive the Trogs back.
You can count on me. One thing that's happening is it's picking up characters from, or sorry, it's picking up items from one of my other characters, showing that I have these equipped when I definitely don't. But it's a nice belt. We'll take. Sorry, that's my Discord. Let me check that and close out of that real quick. Okay. Bromos.
The light be with you, adventurer. How can I help you?
We got this rune.
See you soon.
So you made it, and not a second too soon. There's much to be done in Cold Ridge Valley and beyond. I'm gonna need your help as much as you're gonna need mine. You're a knight of the Silver Hand now. Be ready to play the part.
The humans have taught us a great deal about the Holy Light, and how important their order is to them, and to protecting all of Azeroth. We have a great respect for how it is steeped in tradition, and how just one figure, one sacrifice, can make the difference between pain and salvation.
That's sick.
The two of
Paladins
us
are so
gonna be
cool.
working together for a bit. Anytime you think you're ready, come back to me and we'll see about getting you some training. Can't have you go out into the world unprepared now, can we?
Sure. Excuse me.
Be good.
Let's see what we can learn.
With you, adventurer. How can I help you?
Devotion Aura gives 55 additional armor to party members within 30 yards. Players may only have one aura on them per paladin at any one time. So paladins learn a collection of different auras that affect their entire group as a whole, which is really nice. And another thing that I just love about Classic is there's these like nuanced niche spells that require you to think about the situation that is at hand, about what you're going into, you know, gather some knowledge, and then use those spells on the fly. And Paladin auras are like a big example of that, in my opinion. Right now, we only have one that gives us additional armor, but if you're going into an area that, you know, there's going to be a lot of creatures that are going to be melee attacking you, additional armor can prevent some of that damage, which is really nice. Or if you're going into an area where there's a bunch of spellcasters, maybe you know that they're going to be casting fire spells a lot, so you throw on like a fire resistance aura or something, right? Like, all that stuff is really cool, and it's not really pushed as much in newer versions of WoW, and it's just another thing that I love about Classic, man. Just giving you a problem to solve and trusting that you can solve it, not needing to hold your hand and be like, you should put this on, or we just automatically apply this for you, or what, you know, like press the button that lights up and all of a sudden you'll win. It's like, no, you know, you could probably still do it without having those auras on or whatever, but like you can make it easier if you were smart enough to know, like, oh, you should use this, or, you know. I just like stuff like that. Big old miss. Now, Paladins, honestly, people say they're probably one of the most boring classes to level, because it is mostly just like put a seal on and then auto attack. And for the most part that is true, but there can be some fun to them. I feel really, really powerful when I'm leveling a Paladin. I think they're probably the strongest class in Classic WoW, in my opinion. As far as like solo world survivability, right? But let's take a look at what our seal and what our heal do, right? Since we read our devotion aura. So Seal of Righteousness, fill the Paladin with Holy Spirit for 30 seconds, granting each melee attack an additional 1 to 5 holy damage, so it RNG rolls between 1 and 5. Slower weapons cause more holy damage per swing. Only one seal can be active on the Paladin at any one time. So we'll gain a plethora of different seals, and only one can be active, and they last about 30 seconds, and then eventually we'll get a move called Judgment, which allows us to unleash the seal, spending the remaining, you know, duration of that seal and requiring you to apply a new seal. And then, of course, as you get more into learning about Paladins, you can do something called seal twisting, which is what is showing right here on my weapon swinger timer. Is right around here. If you change your seal at the right time, your auto will still go off, but you'll get the effects of both seals, and it's not an easy thing to do. Once you master it, I'm sure it's not as hard, but I've never really tried to seal twist. It's something that I'm going to try and learn now that we're playing Paladin, but Graylin Whitebeard.
My brother, Sanir, and I were sent to different parts of Dun Morok to investigate the threat posed by the trolls. The Senate has its hands full with the Trogs, so they've no need for further annoyances. From what I've seen, the trolls aren't well situated here in Coldridge Valley, mostly the southern cave. I'd say that the army will not be necessary. A few strong arms should be more than enough. Perhaps you'd like to assist in this endeavor? I have the authority to offer compensation for your help.
Oh, really? Well, 14 Frostmane Troll Whelps. We get a new weapon. That's nice. The Anvilmar Sledge. So we need to take out these Frostmane Troll Whelps. I also need to kill 6 of the regular Rockjaw Trogs, so let's take those on real quick. Sorry, trying to respond to a message real quick while I have the time, while we're just auto-attack slapping these mobs. We're safe enough in the early game to where I think we can take on 2 pretty safely without me having to really worry. Plus I have healing as a Paladin, which is really nice. One thing that I do need to put on our bars is Stone Form. This is a Dwarf Racial. While active, grants immunity to bleed, poison, and disease effects. In addition, armor is increased by 10%, lasts 8 seconds. So a nice little defensive ability if we know the mobs are going to poison us, bleed us, or put diseases on us, which is actually quite a few mobs in the game, so it's really nice. As well as dwarves get a ability called, or a racial called Find Treasure, which is really cool. Allows the dwarf to sense nearby treasure, making it appear on the minimap. So this allows you to find just like chests, or mostly chests from what I know. I don't think it finds like schools of fish, like fishing pools or anything like that, but I do think it'll show us like, you know, random chests around the map, which are always good to find, right? There's usually some nice items inside chests, and of course this character is completely solo self-found, hardcore Ironman, you know, same rules as our rogue, so everything that we find is going to have to be by our own 2 hands, right? We're going to be taking on fishing, cooking, first aid, mining and blacksmithing, like I said. And right there, look, battered chest. Inside the cave. There's probably not going to be anything crazy in there because it's a low-level chest, but it might have a green item, so I'm going to try and fight our way through the cave. Now I know eventually we will get a quest that takes us into this cave, so I'm contemplating maybe just waiting. But I don't want another player to go in there and get it, and then by the time that we go in there, it's gone, right? But big crit, 23. And we top rolled on our seal, rolling 5. We're rolling 5 basically every time. I wonder if that's because we're using a 2-handed weapon that it's basically guaranteed to top roll the 5, which I think the more I'm saying this, the more I'm learning. Yes, that is the case. Alright, before we go too far into Frostmane Troll Whelp hunting, I want to go talk to Talon Keeneye and turn in the Coldridge Valley mail delivery. He'll give us a quest to hunt some boar, and while we hunt those boar, we should get some experience that can help us level up, maybe get closer to level 4 before we go try and take on that cave, because that cave can be a little dicey if you're not careful. We know the rule in hardcore, like caves equal death, so whenever going into a cave, you really want to be on your P's and Q's, clear everything out, make sure you're leaving yourself an escape path, that kind of thing. Talon. Greetings, Paladin. Fine day for hunting, wouldn't you say? I've been having more than a little luck with those boars myself. Perhaps you'd like a shot. Yes. Do you have something for me? Stack of letters. Can I read these letters? No. Okay.
Thank you. I've been waiting for these letters for quite some time. Unfortunately, these letters aren't all for me. This one is addressed to Grelin Whitebeard.
Oh, we know Grelin.
He's not too far away if you'd like to deliver it to him.
Sure.
If I remember correctly, Grelin's camp is down the road to the southeast. No doubt he'll be eager to get his mail.
Deliver the letter to Grelin or Grelin Whitebeard.
Nothing like a day of boar hunting, eh? Though here in Coldridge Valley, there are so many boars it almost takes the fun out of it. No need to get them charging. They're all angry and ready without any help. In fact, recently there have been so many boars in the area, it's become dangerous for me to do my daily hunting. Long story short, if you could help me kill some of the boars, I would appreciate it.
12 boars, and we'll get some new pants, which are really nice, so, of course. I almost wanted to just invite this guy. It's been a long time since we played hardcore, easily a couple months, so I gotta get back into the swing of things and remember, like, oh yeah, there's, you know, no grouping up, completely solo, we're not doing any dungeons, we're, you know, there is no auction house or anything like that, everything is completely found by ourselves. So immediately, the first time that we head into Ironforge, I want to make sure I have enough money to learn every profession that I need, which is going to at least take a couple of silver, I think. Mining and blacksmithing alone, I think that's going to take us like 10 or 20 silver right there. I definitely need to pick up fishing and start getting that trained up as quickly as possible, because we know how valuable those little school of fish and floating wreckages are. You can find some really, really good gear in those. Like, it very, very important that I get that trained up. That way, when we're in whatever areas that we're going to in the future, in like the 10s and the 20s and stuff, our fishing skill is high enough to where I can actively take on fishing from those pools, and we can hopefully get some chests. You can get some rare rings, you know, blue items if you're lucky. Even green upgrades would be really, really nice, right? Pop a quick heal. Now, this isn't something that we had to really deal with on the rogue, but now that we're on a melee hybrid caster kind of character, pushback is a thing that happens in Classic WoW with your spells. As you're trying to cast a spell, if creatures are attacking you, every attack will kind of push the spell back a little bit, and that's something that we really need to manage and stay on top of. You don't want to have like 3 or 4 mobs on you and you're trying to cast a heal, and the pushback is so brutal with 3 or 4 mobs hitting you that you're not going to be able to get that heal off, and then you wind up dying, right? So there are some things in the Holy Tree that you can spec into that help your pushback, which is nice. I'm thinking about putting some points in there to help us be able to heal in combat and increase our chances of survivability, right? 4 more boar. That's a bar. 4 boar and 10 score ago. Okay. Go ahead and put those shoes on. They're better than the Squire boots that we have that give us no armor, so I'll take 5 armor over none, even though they're cloth and not very good. Just put the seal on and start swinging, baby. I could be doing this a little more efficiently by, you know, kiting them out and trying to only get close when my weapon swing timer is ready, which is what I'm doing here. It'll help prevent some damage, and as we get further in, I'll definitely be doing that. That's a huge find right there. Flimsy chain bracers, 25 armor. We had none. Definitely taking that. And ragged leather pants, 17 armor over the frayed cloth ones that we had. That's nice. We've actually got a pretty decent little setup. Every armor piece that we could find right now, except for a cloak, we have, which is nice. Some of it is cloth, some of it is leather, but that's okay for now. All right, boars are down. Let's go back to Talon. We'll turn this in. Then we'll probably head back to Cold Ridge, the actual like tavern area.
Excellent, I can go back to my leisurely hunting now. Thank you, adventurer.
Why did he say it like that? Of course, Talon. Alright, some new pants. Even though we just got those, we're going to replace the other ones. What do we look like with the squire shirt off? I don't think it's... Yeah, it doesn't add much. It just adds the... It's a little gray tunic with some sleeves there. I'll keep it on for inventory space right now, but it might be something that I put in the bank in the future. Alright, Coldridge mail delivery. Is there something I can help you with? A letter to Graylin Whitebeard. Let's read it. Graylin, my time is short and many matters press on my time, and I hope that your investigation of the trolls will not be one of them. Therefore, I will allow you to use my authority in dealing with the trolls in whatever fashion you deem necessary. More so if you are able to find an expedient solution. Magni Bronzebeard, the king of the dwarves. Can't wait to meet Magni. That's really cool. And that's why we read the mail. Yeah, I've got this letter for you.
Excellent. It's been a while since I received word from Ironforge.
Nice, and we hit level 4. Nori Pride Drift.
Gah! I was supposed to get this delicious scalding morn brew to Durnan Furcutter inside Anvilmar a while ago now, but I had to deliver one to Grelin here first. I'll never make it to Anvilmar before the brew runs cold. You look fast. Maybe you can make it. This cup will only stay hot for 5 more minutes, and Durnan didn't order chili morn brew, so get going. Anvilmar is to the northeast, a settlement dug into the mountain. Thanks, adventurer, and don't forget to bring me back my mug.
So this is a timed quest. We have 5 minutes to bring this to Anvilmar, which is where we were heading to next anyways, which is perfect. I said Coldridge, but I didn't know what the actual name of this this building was, but I guess they call it Anvilmar, so... Guy's name is Psst, I Heal. I like that. One thing that's really nice about dwarves, and it won't really matter, or not dwarves, paladins, it won't really matter for our run specifically because we are completely solo, is that no matter what spec you build your paladin, for the most part, until like the later game, you can heal any dungeon, you can tank any dungeon, you can be damaged for anything. Like you're pretty flexible. Even if you're spec'd like Retribution, you can heal a dungeon. Even if you're spec'd Protection, you could heal a dungeon. Even if you're spec'd Holy, you could tank a dungeon, right? Like as long as you had some armor gear, I would recommend, but...
If the problems we've had here are indicative of what is happening elsewhere in our lands, by Magni's beard, we have some troubles ahead of us. I can only hope that the King and Senate are taking steps to deal with the threat the Trogs pose.
So here I could get a cape, and it would give me 5 extra armor, or I could take this rustic belt, and it'll give me 38 armor, and replace the frayed cloth belt that we have. This is only giving me 3, so in my opinion, 35 armor or 5, I'm taking the 35, right? We'll definitely find a cape at some point or another, but I'd much rather have the belt for right now. Let's get in and deliver this morning brew before it goes cold, as well as talk to Felix Windlebolt. And then, of course, we'll circle back and talk to Bromos. Durnan.
I sell the finest cloth and leather garb this side of the valley.
Got your delivery for morning brew.
Safe travel.
I am Durnan Furcutter. You have something for me?
Ah, good. Now this will hit the spot. Allow me to take a small break while I enjoy this scalding morn brew.
See you soon.
There's nothing like some scalding morn brew on a chilly Dunmorrow day to get things started. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. If that won't put spring in your step, I don't know what will.
Now that hit the spot. Nothing like a piping hot, nay, scalding morn
He
brew
likes
on
it
a cold
scalding.
winter's day to warm your cackles of your soul. Here you go, adventurer.
Not the cackles.
Be a pal and take this empty mug back to Nori for me, would you now?
Return Nori's mug to Nori Prydrift, of course.
I sell the finest cloth and leather garb this side of the valley.
We don't really need cloth, but I think I need to save all my money. I'd like to buy some gear if I could afford it, but honestly, we need training. I need to have enough money for my professions. I want to pick those up as early as we can and start working on them as fast as possible. So, Felix,
We drove the trogs out of Gnome Regan, but then it all went so horribly wrong. Now our home is completely irradiated, and we gnomes have been scattered all over Dunmorrow. In my haste to get away from the radiation, I lost all my personal belongings and tools. It was the trolls that got them. They stole my chest, my box, and my bucket of bolts. They took them back to their camp southwest of Anvilmar. I'm no adventurer. Could you find my things and bring them here to me, please?
of course. I'm hunting Trog anyways. Alright,
The
Bromos.
light be with you, adventurer. How can I help you?
So for 2 silver, I can learn Blessing of Might. Places the blessing on the friendly target, increasing melee attack power by 20 for 5 minutes. Players may only have 1 blessing on them per paladin at any one time. And Judgment. Unleash the energy of a seal spell upon an enemy. Refer to individual seals for judgment effects. So yeah, we definitely want both of these. That's all of our money, unfortunately, but they're just, I mean, they're staples for a paladin, right? One thing that's pretty cool about a paladin is it's very much so like you can only have one of these things on at once kind of vibe, right? Like seals, you can only have 1 active per paladin. Aura, you can only have 1 active per paladin. Blessings, you can only have 1 active per paladin, right? So now how Pally Power works is you can assign what classes get what buff, which is really cool. So for right now, I only have Blessing of Might, so I'm going to change it around and make sure you can adjust the aura that you have on, and you can adjust your blessing. And this is mostly for when you're playing with other paladins, so you can, this will combine with other paladins and be like, okay, you do devotion aura, you do concentration aura, you do blessing of might, you do blessing of wisdom, right? And it's just easier this way. But for me, it's just so I can just click. All I have to do is, you know, right click the aura, right click the seal, right click the blessing, and it'll just keep it all on me, so I don't have to, you know, I could just do Alt 1 and then put it on myself, and I'm sure there'll be times that I do that, but it's just kind of nice to have it on Pally Power. I trust the scalding morning brew got to Durnan on time. Did you remember to bring me back my mug?
Excellent, adventurer! You'd be surprised how many couriers I meet who forget to do something as simple as bring back the mug. Mugs don't grow on trees, or so they tell me. Here's a little something for the effort. Thanks again for your help.
Nice. I'm pretty sure now that I'm remembering we had our quest acceptor like way over here on the last session, so maybe I'll move it back over here. I'll have to go back to my rogue videos and see where I had the actual quest tracking or quest accepting window, but I think I'm remembering now after this 40 minutes or so that it goes right here. Alright, let's try, whoops, walk through the fire. Let's try and hunt a few more Trog and, or Troll, and get Felix's box, chest, and bucket of bolts. I'd like to finish all of Cold Ridge in this first episode if I can, and then probably later this afternoon when I'm done with the gym and stuff and I have a little more time to play, I'll start working on Karazhan? What's it called? Karanos, I think is what it's called. So, unleashing this seal will cause 20 holy damage to an enemy. So it's a nice little like instant shock to the enemies. So there's Felix's box. Yeah, the Paladin is definitely going to feel very, very good to play. I'm excited. It was nice to finish the adventure on our rogue and then take a little bit of a break, visit some other games, and now, you know, after a little bit of time off from WoW, I always get that itch to come back. It's been like that since I started playing this game, you know? It's my favorite game of all time. I love it, and then, you know, you play yourself kind of sick on it, and then it's nice to, like, walk away, experience some other things, but you're always going to get that calling to come back to it. And to me, it's like the perfect game that you can play endlessly because of that exact reason. Like, you can always just make a new character, try something new, experience something, and the fun is not so much getting to the end game, and I've talked about this on the rogue a lot, but the fun is the journey. That's what makes it such a good game, is most games are like, you got to get to the end in order to experience the fun. And for some people, they get lost in that with WoW, I've definitely noticed, but oh, there's a chest in here. Nice, I'm glad I noticed that. But for me, personally, the fun is the journey. That's what I have the most fun doing, is making a new character and getting, like, lost in the idea of that character, right? Be it like the dwarf paladin, like figuring out what professions is he going to be, what kind of like personality am I going to give him? Am I going to make him a healer? Am I going to make him a tank? Am I going to make him, you know, standoffish to people out in the world? Am I going to make him friendly? Am I going to make him, you know, the kind of guy that is going to watch you struggle against a rare? Or am I going to jump in and throw you a heal and a buff? Or, you know, like, I like to play it kind of like a new Dungeons and Dragons character, where I like give them a personality and you know, how would they react to this situation. Like our undead rogue was very much like, I myself was a friendly player, but I don't like to think of the rogue being that friendly of a player. Like, he might watch someone die, or he might you know, laugh from the shadows as he watches you run away for your life or something like that. But me myself as a player, I was always very, like, as a person, when I would, you know, see other people, I would always like wave to them and be like, hey, you know, looking back on it, I wish I would have made him a little more of a dick and like spit on all the alliance and like laughed at people and stuff. Once I started playing through Star Wars The Old Republic and playing a Sith assassin, I really liked the idea of being this like rude, mean kind of character on the rogue. Just kind of praying for people's downfalls and preying on their downfalls, right? But the Paladin, I'd probably make him very stoic, but kind and wise. So probably not say much, but
Trolls. A group of them came in the night and stole my journal. I knew better than to trust that good-for-nothing APR. My journal! They took it away to the cave. The one that had it? It was a big brute with some odd markings on his skin and face. I didn't get a much better look than that. You've had some luck with the trolls. Maybe you could go get it back for me.
Graylin Whitebeard wants you to kill Gricknir the Cold and retrieve his journal. So we're going into a cave now. We got a new hammer, which is really nice. This hammer was 3 to 5 damage, 2.9 speed. This hammer is 6 to 10 damage, 3.1 speed. So you always want a slower weapon when it comes to two-handed weapons. The slower they are, the higher the damage rolls will be, right? Looks like this guy's going in the caves at the same time as me, so let's try and beat him, but also I need to be careful, right? let's go into our macros, our target macros, and for the most part, we could probably get rid of all of these and start fresh. Gricknir, I think was his name. The Cold. Now, one thing when it is, when you're playing a Paladin, you're trying to be very mana efficient. You're trying to be efficient on every character that you play, but okay, Gricknir is up. The idea is the less mana you waste, the more mana you have that you can throw like a heal out on yourself and go right into the next pull. So what I like to do is use a seal, keep it for as long as I can, and actually don't judge it right away unless I'm trying to use it to, like, you know, finish a mob or something like that. But use it to its full capacity, like this. Let your natural mana regeneration kick in. Uh-oh, there's a body. And see, now that we're at 100% mana, once the seal gets low on duration, then we would, you know, judge it. Like right here, maybe I can... Nice, I got it. And that way, my natural mana regeneration can kick in. I was hoping for a... Uh-oh. We're gonna get 3 mobs here, but that's okay. I was hoping for a bag. That'd be really lucky. We immediately popped our stone form. Here I'm just going to judge it to finish that mob off so I have one less mob attacking me. It breaks my rule of holding on to seal as long as I can, but look at that. We just took on 3 mobs and we didn't even get under 40% lost health. Okay, not bad. We've already found 2 battered chests. That's pretty cool. We have a lot of junk to sell, which puts us back up to about 2 silver or so. I love starting a new character, especially on solo self-found, and every little piece of copper, like, matters. It's this fun loop that it doesn't last forever. It definitely doesn't, you know, stay forever. On our rogue, we hit a point where we had so much extra money, it really wasn't like a big deal. I think we were pushing close to like 200 or 300 extra gold after we'd bought all of our spells, we bought our mount, because I can't spend my money on anything other than like my skills and possibly some gear that we find at a vendor that's probably not going to be better than what we have, right? But for the most part, my money was spent on food and skills, and then the big sink is your mount, right? On our rogue, we didn't have enough money at directly at level 40 to get our mount, but I think by the time we were level like 43 or 45, somewhere in that range, we had enough.
How are you?
Bale, any luck?
Wonderful adventurer! Many thanks for retrieving my notebook.
Oops.
Well, it would seem that the troll situation here in Coldridge Valley is under control and not much cause for worry. After I put the finishing touches on my report, I'll need someone to courier it to my brother Sinir.
That'll be us.
I was planning on sending my apprentice to my brother Sinir with my report, but I would feel much better were it placed in more reliable hands. That is, of course, if you wouldn't mind. You'll have to take the tunnel to get to Karanos. Speak with Mountaineer Thalos before going through the tunnel. It's completely infested with trogs now. Follow the road back to Anvil Mar, then keep heading east to the tunnel. Thalos is stationed nearby.
Perfect. So we picked up a shield for our efforts there. It'll be nice to have a one-handed weapon and a shield that I can pop on just in case I need to have a little more armor or something, like things start getting a little scary. I can throw the shield and the one-handed weapon on, but for the most part the two-handed mace will deal more damage. So I think at some point on this character we probably will wind up going sword and shield or mace and shield or something like that. More than likely mace and shield. I like the way that looks, but it just depends on what kind of weapon we get, right? One-handed. Now we'll do sword shield. And then two-handed. Well, if that's the case, I'll do one-handed. I'll have to... I think on the rogue we were doing our weapon changes on alt, so I'll have to look back on that and remember where I had those, but it'll just feel more familiar if I have them on the same buttons as I had them on my rogue. But we were dagger dancing a lot on the rogue. I remember we would open up with our daggers, do a big backstab, switch to our swords, and then use the swords the remainder of the fight and just keep dancing. And the same might be the case for the dwarf, where we usually stick with the two-handed weapon or whatever, but then switch to the sword and shield if I'm pulling like 3 or more mobs. That way I have a bunch of block chance and stuff like that. But Felix, oh goodness, Bale, this town is not well suited for the likes of me. There are as many nasty creatures here as there were in Nomergan before the accident. Do you have my belongings? If you don't, then who knows what the trolls have done with them.
Huzzah! You found them! You're an absolute savior, my friend. Here, it's not much, but it's something for the trouble I've put you through. Thank you!
Hey, thanks, buddy. Alright, let's sell all this junk. No, I don't have more training just yet. But we are sitting at almost 3 silver. That's nice. I think this is counting some of my characters on my classic era server, because I don't have any characters started on this server particularly, but the way that Bagnon works is it shows you all of your characters across multiple servers on that side of the faction, right? So, because I was like, I feel like my rogue actually had a lot more money than this. I think we had close to like 200 or 300 gold on the rogue, but after I'm done this episode, I'll switch over to my rogue and kind of see where all my key bindings were and how I had things set up so I can transfer it over to this character. Mountaineer Thalos.
What's on your mind?
Hail! Have a care, Bale. The tunnel to Dunmorrow is infested with trogs, and it's not safe for travel. If you haven't any pressing business in Dunmorrow, I'll have to ask you to remain in Envilmar until the tunnel is safer. Can we read this letter? We can, okay. A report on the state of the Frostmane trolls in the general area of Coldridge Valley, prepared by Graylin Whitebeard, Senate Special Envoy. From the time that I have spent observing the movement of the Frostmane trolls in the Coldridge Valley area, I've determined that they pose no large threat to dwarven settlements in the area. Moreover, they are a threat that can be eliminated with a little additional support from the army. Through the assistance of mountaineers already stationed in Coldridge Valley and mercenaries paid with funds set aside by the Senate prior to my displacement, I am confident that my problem will be solved in short order. This action has been authorized with the sanction given to me by King Bronzebeard. I have Graylin's report.
Well, if Whitebeard is sending you to Dunmorrow on important business, I can't very well stop you, can I? At least let me provide you with some advice and directions.
That'd be nice.
The trogs in the tunnel are extremely hostile and haven't shown any hesitation in attacking travelers through the tunnel. You seem tough enough, though, so you should probably be safe. Directions? If you're going to speak with Senir, you'll find him in Karanos. Make your way through the tunnel, and after you come out on the other side, just keep following the road. It'll run right into Karanos.
Right, follow the road. Hans Spring Sprocket, what a name.
Hey! You look like a hardy adventurer. If you're planning on braving the pass, do you suppose you could bring a package to the inn in Karanos?
Sure.
You're planning on stopping at the inn, right? If you make it through the pass, you'll definitely want to take a breather there. Anyways, bring this to Tannock Frosthammer, the innkeeper's assistant. I can't get through the pass myself, and it'll be days until a mountaineer escort comes through.
Okay. Sounds easy enough. So just get through this pass. I'm going to try and take on as many of these trogs as we go through here as I can. Just get the experience and have a, I think they're humanoids, so they could have some cloth. I think humanoids have a higher chance of dropping bags, which is going to be something that, of course, I want. But mostly, it's just some solid experience as we travel through. Plus, we have a little bit of time left in this episode. I think it'll line up perfectly for us getting to Karanos. And that'll be a great place for us to wrap up the first episode on our new character. Super excited to be back on hardcore. I figure, you know, we can help out our fellow mountaineers and clear out the infestation. They said it was crawling with trogs, so... Damn, big crit, 47. Nice. Let's take a little bit of a shortcut here. Some destroyed tanks just along the road. So cool. Dunmorrow. Some non-destroyed tanks. I think eventually we'll be brought back over here for a quick little quest, so it's like a little shooting range where they're testing mortars. It's the mortar team. So cool. Bing, bing. Okay, yeah, it's about perfect timing by the time that we get into Dunmorrow and turn these two quests in, and probably take the follow-up quests, plus set our hearth to Karanos. We should be just at about an hour, which is the perfect time for us to get ready to wrap it up, so... Between this episode and next episode, I'll probably take some time, like I said, to jump over to my rogue, make sure I have all of the macros that I need as far as like equip slot macros for my weapons. Try and remember where everything was set up as far as like quest accept windows and all that stuff. So that way next time we play, I'll have that in mind and I can, you know, make sure that everything is succinct to how we had it with our rogue. But send here, Whitebeard. How are ya? Like to share a drink with me, perhaps? Not much else to do in the cold. This is the same report that we just read, so yeah, I'll just go ahead and give this to Senir.
What's this? Ah, my brother's report. I told him to be sparing with the use of the king's name, but he didn't listen. No harm, I suppose.
He was not sparing with it.
Ruffle some feathers in the Senate. Not that those weren't some feathers that needed ruffling. Ha-ah! Nonetheless, I guess
that hiccup.
That I should send my report on to Ironforge.
Oh, it was just a laugh.
I must admit, I'm a bit behind. Bloody cold. I should have some work for you later if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm interested. We'll have to come back for that, though. Sell those. I'll accept these quests next time we get on. But for now, let's just go to Tannock and turn these supplies in. Hi there. Come in. Take a seat by the fire and warm yourself with a flagon of ale. I have these, supplies.
Ah, at last, the supplies from hands. I was beginning to worry. We've had scarce word from Anvilmar ever since the Trogs overran the pass. Thanks for bringing this to me, adventurer, and please, make yourself comfortable. You must be tired after your journey.
We are tired. And there it is, level 6, baby. Now this this is just one of the most comfortable inns in the game, in my opinion. The music, the way it looks, you've got these trophies, giant swords hung above the fireplace, tons of ale to just drink and drink and drink. And as a dwarf, I'll tell you what, we are definitely going to be carrying a lot of ale around on our character and playing some of the game drunk. We'll probably play a lot of it like tipsy and drunk, and we didn't really get to experience the drunk mechanic that much on our rogue. I think we did a little bit where we would get tipsy and things would get a little spinny, but on the dwarf, I definitely plan on carrying around a lot of ale. We'll be spending a lot of our excess money on ale and making sure we're constantly stocked with ale, and we're just going to be drinking. It's very fitting for our race and the way that I want to play this character. I want him to be this like stoic, holy knight that's always willing to help people and try and save people, but at the same time, he's got some things in his past where he's trying to escape them, and he's going to be using the drink to do that. So, before we get off, let's talk to Belm.
Fill your tankard and pull up a chair. We've stories to tell and kegs to empty.
Here, brother. Let's make this in our home. We'll take a little seat. Actually, no. We got to find a bed. Surely there's a bed around here. We know the rules. There we go. We always find a bed to sleep in. So, that should be good for us. Nice. Nice little cozy nap until we resume. Alright guys, we are going to call this one here for now. I want to thank you all for hanging out. I will see you in the next one. The start of a new adventure, baby. I can't wait. I'm super excited. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love, and God bless gamers.